Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. This is Joe Roscoe, co-host of Move Fast, Lift Heavy podcast. Here sitting next to, in the flesh, co-host, founder of Move Fast, Lift Heavy, Christian Harris.
It's me.
I don't have to wait to, put you into the shot this time. You're already in it. So we're here in Madison, Wisconsin. Day one of the CrossFit Games has completed. We are in an amazing hotel room with poor lighting, but we wanted to give you the live update right then and now so that you can be up to date with what's going on with the team. So first off, if you haven't yet, please go to the website, movefastlift.heavy.com. You can see our apparel. You can see our training program with this guy right here. We got Train with CH if you're into the whole CrossFit thing. If you want the aesthetic, check out that. I've been going at that pump with CH for a long time now. And if you want a bicep like that, peep on that website, MFLHtrain.com or movefastlift.heavy.com, and hit up Pump with CH. No matter what track you choose, there is a 7-day free trial, so you can try it with no cost. All right, let's jump into the action. Day one, CrossFit Games, Madison, Wisconsin. Christian Harris, it's been two seasons of attempts where you were going, you weren't going, and now finally in the third season you are here. How's it feel to be in Madison as a competitor at the CrossFit Games?
It feels great.
Feels great.
Third time's a charm.
Yeah.
Consistency, discipline, and just we're here. We're back. We're happy to be here.
All right. So going into the weekend, having been at the Granite Games at the semis, it was a tough competition field there. Knowing what you know about how the semis went and going into the games, were you confident going into this weekend? Did you feel like underdogs? Did you have hopes of doing anything specifically for the weekend? What's the goal for MFLH this weekend?
Well, going into it, I knew we would definitely be underdogs, taking third at Granite Games. Going into the debriefs and seeing where we were seated going into this event, we were in heat number 1. So immediately goal number 1 for us right now is to just try to move up into that top heat and get to compete with everybody in that, because it's like clockwork. The final heat is always the fastest heat, and you want to be in the mix with those guys because you're going to put up the best times. Yeah.
So after the first event today, which involved a empty bobsled push with 4 athletes, going into some gymnastics work, going into some biking, and then this awful torture of a empty bobsled, but with only 2 athletes. Were the results of that event what you expected it to be? Was the stimulus? Yeah, just walk us through what you thought was going to happen, and then tell us what actually did happen.
I would say we executed pretty much as well as we possibly could. I think that workout is kind of one on the bike. It took about 3.5 to 4 minutes in the practice laps that we got to complete the bike course, which was a mile. And as long as you completed your sled work and the toaster bar within that 4-minute window, the transitions were pretty seamless of switching out interchangeably from round to round. Pretty much did that for the most part. Nicole and I were definitely a little bit faster on the bike sections. So we got a little bit of rest going into the big bob push and the toaster bar. And then we also finished a bit faster than Will and Winter. So we got a tiny bit of rest going into the bikes each time. The worst part of that workout was the sled for sure, especially the last team push all the way down, only because at that point it's a sprint to the finish line and you can't stop. So you just gotta send it.
I thought you all were well balanced as far as like the strengths and weaknesses, because it did seem like Will and Winter were moving the sled maybe a little better. So you guys were like
for sure
giving and taking a bit on that. So you think the bike was kind of the difference maker, because there's a bit of drama, of speculation that because of the rain delay and the rain hitting the turf, that it made the the bob push easier for the Heat 2 competitors.
That's what I'm hearing. I mean, it's all hearsay. You're not really going to know unless you were actually. I don't even know if there's a way to prove that. You know, unless you did it with the first heat, did it with the second heat.
I mean, let me just interject. Like, we played football on a turf field. You know, we played. When it's raining, you get tackled, you get hit, you hit the turf, your ass slides.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing.
When it's not wet, you don't really slide that much.
That's true.
So when you're, let me just be the one to be outspoken about that. Another thing that I think is why it is a legitimate argument is because even though it might have been a little bit more difficult to ride the bike with wet terrain, you never stop. Whereas with the bob push, if it's easier, you're going to stop less. And the amount of time you're resting before you push again is a lot longer than it would take to maybe ride a bit slower on a bike.
And given that with less leg fatigue, you're going to be able to push a little bit faster on the bike. So
correct. All right.
It does go a little bit hand in hand, but
not to make a big thing of it. Okay, so it happens, and you're sitting in what, 26th or 27th?
26th place. And that's the other thing. It's like, I would like to think we're fit enough to not be 26th, but that's just kind of how the roll of the dice went. So
yeah, it's how the chips fell. The cards fell. Someone comment.
Cookie crumbled.
How did someone comment? Tell us how that.
I think that's from like
was.
Bruce Almighty or something like that.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's what he says. But it's actually an actual saying. It's like wherever the chips fall or wherever the cards lay or something like that. Elizabeth, thanks so much for that. It was a Heat win in event 2, but we appreciate your support. Thanks for watching and giving that comment. Thanks, Elizabeth. So let's get into event 2. Some cool stuff, some new stuff as far as you're holding a worm with only 2 people. I think that was the first time that's happened. And then we had the parallel bars. Is that what we're going to call them?
P-bars.
The P-bars, as the announcers were liking to say. Yeah, just talk us through maybe like strategy going in, and then just kind of talk us through how that played out.
So that was kind of the unknown of the whole event, was the P-bars and doing the dips after having to walk across the parallel bars. We've done plenty of pegboards, so doing 3 for the guys and 2 for the women for one set was pretty much, I'm not going to say a joke, but that wasn't like the big wow of the workout. I think it was more so the parallel bars and how you handled walking across and doing your dips under fatigue. They definitely were a bit spicy, I would say, and they know what they're doing with the combination of movements, pairing the burpees with the parallel bars. It's just the same repetitive motion over and over, so it definitely gets a bit harder.
Yeah, you got a little bit of taxing the shoulders and lats. You got the dip variation on a burpee, which then basically puts the focus on those parallel bars. So
I was fortunate enough to have to go first on the parallel bars.
There you go.
Which also, given my previous history with 2 pec tears, I was thankful to go first on that. So.
Okay, cool. What I wanted to ask was, it sounds silly because I know from watching the team and knowing your history, you guys hit the worm all the time.
Yeah.
But I think what spectators look at and they kind of take for granted is it's not necessarily easy to be in sync with the burpees, or even just picking the worm up, walking it forward, dropping it, knowing who's, or even the teammanship of leaving. That was very dangerous. Like, if you left the 2 people behind in the wrong positioning or wrong situation, that worm's going to drop. Then it's going to cost you time to pick it back up. Like, I think the viewers, spectators would overlook the complication of that. How did you feel like navigating that?
I thought we did a great job until the very end of the workout. One of the things that we spoke about when picking up the worm was if you were the ones that were leaving on the outside, which was me and Winter, we would kind of cheat in a little bit. I'm sorry, Nicole and Will would cheat outward so that they would have less slack of the worm on their backsides, like leaning over the top. And then when Winter and I were holding it, we would kind of cheat in the other direction just to kind of like balance out the
Yeah.
the physics of the worm. But the other thing was like you can't just sprint out of there. You kind of need to ease your way out so that your partner that's in front or behind you can kind of feel the weight of the worm kind of hitting their bodies, so to speak.
We're gonna get to your questions. Jennifer, Elizabeth, Daniela. Yes, we're gonna get to your comments. So please, anyone else that's watching on YouTube, go ahead and drop your questions there. We appreciate you. If you're watching right now, later on, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're putting out vlogs and podcasts and all that on the weekly. So check it out. One thing I was impressed with, there was a moment where Winter got back early. I don't know if you were on the worm. Were you paired with Winter or Nicole?
Mm-hmm.
Winter.
Winter.
Okay, so you might have been still doing something.
Pegboard.
Yeah, she got back early, went to the back at first and realized was actually hindering Nicole more than it was helping.
Mm-hmm.
Then she left the back and then went to the front and took the front and
That was a good move.
Yeah, gave Nicole a little bit of rest because like literally that worm was, I was fearful. I thought it was going to drop and then you were going to have to stop or whatever. Then you guys showed your I guess togetherness by when you got back. I think you might even call her Winnie, which also shows like how close you guys are. She stayed on the front, you got on the back, you walked it forward, you dropped it, and then you said Winnie and you switched. Like, talk us through that moment. It might have seemed simple to you, and anyone watching might not even thought anything of it. But when I was watching, it's like, oh wow, that was clutch that just happened.
Yeah, it kind of seemed a bit seamless in the moment, but we all knew that because of the brief that we had to stay in our positions when we were doing the burpees. So, you know, whether she was in the front or the back, like I had to be in the front spot.
Yeah.
By the time we initiated that set of burpees.
Okay, cool. Nice. So let's take some questions and then we'll talk about day 2 tomorrow and we'll head out for the night. So let's go with Daniela chimed in. She said, that's the way the cookie crumbles, like you said. Thanks, Daniela. Thanks for watching. Tap Truck, Long Island. Thanks for the great job today. Appreciate you.
Nikki Boy.
Oh, Nikki Boy. What's up, Nikki Boy? All right, a question here. How do you guys effectively recover after competition day like this, especially being late? Well, one is nutrition, him eating, especially as a team and making sure you guys are still in routine for tomorrow. Yeah, so talk to us about like you had where's that? Here's a part of it. Go ahead, Christian.
A lot of stretching, rolling out, all that kind of stuff in between. But yeah, like I'm honestly not really hungry right now, but I know I need to pound this food down. Otherwise, I'm not gonna have like the sustenance to recover. I would like to try to get to bed at a reasonable hour, but because competing so late, having to eat, nerves, you know, adrenaline, it's going to be hard for me to get down. So once I finish eating, nice long shower, try to decompress and get to bed at a reasonable hour.
What are you eating here?
Right now we have some white rice, a potato medley, and grilled chicken from the good folks at Redefine Meals back at home on Long Island.
Hey, Redefine Meals.
On Long Island.
I
got it right.
Yeah. Philip, tell us how many pancakes you had last night. The team had pancakes for dinner last night, and Philip here wants to know how many you had for or I want to know how many you had, but he wants to know if pancakes are for dinner.
Honestly, I kind of lost count. I started with 3 on my plate, and I just kept going back for more and more. They were protein pancakes, if that helps at all. And combination of
Cool. All right, let's talk about tomorrow. Day 2 was supposed to be fully off, nothing, but because of the rain, you're gonna have to make up the events for today. Just tell us what the events are, and then I'll give you a question or two based off the events.
Sounds good. Would have been nice to have off, but we are taking on events 2 and 3. It's one event with 2 scores. It's called Strong and Fast. Move fast, lift heavy. We're starting off with the females. One female is going to do a max jerk. The other one is going to do a max front squat. And then the men are going to do the same 2 lifts. Then there's a 4-minute transition. and then there's a 3-mile run. The first mile is done with all 4 athletes. Then we're going to drop 2 athletes and 2 are going to continue to run another mile. Then those 2 athletes are going to switch with the ones that just rested, and they're going to finish out the final mile to complete the event.
I'm assuming you and Nicole are going to be the first to go.
Nicole and I are going to do the back-to-back miles.
The back-to-back.
Yeah.
I'm really excited I think it's a great event for all 4 of you in different regards. You're a strong guy, but Will's front squatting, right? I hope so. God. So Will Carter, front squats the world. What do you front squat? Like 435 or 450? What do you?
It might have been like 465 or 470. So he's like a unicorn when it comes to front squatting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have Winter Rodriguez, one of our female members that she also lifts the world. So we're excited to see her split jerk. And then on the other side of things, I've actually trained with Nicole. I've done some competitions with her or whatever. She's a gazelle when it comes to running. And Christian, you also have like upped you used to be like
I've
this.
upped my cardio.
You used to be this like brute strong man, but then like you got into these whole cardio party things, and now all of a sudden, like when I look at you compete, I'm like, he's a good runner. So
Thanks. I appreciate that.
Yeah. I'm excited to watch you and Nicole just stride it out, and excited for
that'll be fun. I'm pretty sure she'll be dragging me by the end of it. But yeah, it should be a fun one. It should be a good one for us.
Nice. And that's it for tomorrow, right?
That's it for
Hit
tomorrow.
some lifts, run, and that's it.
That's it.
And what time can we watch you guys tomorrow? Do we know what the heat is?
Maybe about 3:30ish.
3:30ish Central Time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go with that.
We got Deb Graff over here, our coach, manager.
All the above.
I could speak.
You could speak.
4:15.
4:15?
Yeah.
All right, so everyone that's watching, if you want to check out Move Fast Lift Heavy, hit that event. 4:15 Central Time, which is 5:15 Eastern, which is 3:15 Mountain, which is 2:15 Pacific. And if you're somewhere else in the world, I apologize. I don't know what time it is for you. I know that we have a lot of international crew members on the I'm looking at comments right now. This is hilarious. Elizabeth says, "Not the bots." Amazing. Anyways, if you're watching and you're looking at the comments, we're getting botted right now by naked solicitations and stuff like that.
What's up, Kurt?
But Kurt Ellis, AMIG, just popping in to say what's up. Thanks, Kurt. Appreciate your support. And the bots as well. Appreciate your support too. Thanks for helping our engagement on this podcast. All right. Anything else for our day one debrief? Look, 18 minutes, not bad. Like I said,
that's all I got. That's all I got. Thank you guys so much for your support. Really appreciate it.
All right, everyone. Christian Harris, Joe Roscoe here, Move Fast Lift Heavy podcast. Please subscribe. Please leave a comment. Please screenshot this. Put it on your Instagram stories. Tag us at Move Fast Lift Heavy. Tag Christian. I am Chris Harris. Not to be confused with his real name, Christian. Just call him Christian, but his handle is I am Chris Harris. That's a whole other story, but we won't give him too much of a hard time right now. You can follow me because I'm a nobody, but here I am at It's Me Roscoe. And
he's somebody.
I'm somebody out there. But actually, I'm not somebody to anybody right now.
He is single.
So yeah, thanks again. MoveFastLiftHeavy.com. If you want to rep with us, that's the site for you. If you want to train with us, that's the site for you. And if you want to do both, that's the site for you. Thanks again for watching. Make sure you're out there moving fast and lifting heavy. Until next time, Christian Harris, Joe Roscoe, later.